Good morning, everyone. Greetings from Southern California. Thought I would give you a little bit of a tour as to what's going on with the fires and give you some context here. So this here is the San Gabriel Mountain Range. It runs east and to west, all the way, almost all the way to the ocean. And to give you context, here's I-15 comes down this direction, right down through there. And then you have this range. I live kind of down in that area. There's my car. And over here you have this peak here is Mount Baldy. It's one of the tallest in the area. And you can see that we have kind of these gaps, right? Or these little canyons. It's still very, very mountainous. But when the wind comes from the high desert, it comes roaring through those canyons, and you can't see, but there's another mountain range over here, the San Jacinto, and that's where Palm Springs is. And so you have a big canyon there, and so the wind comes from the high deserts, which is very dry wind, and comes flying through. It was so strong last Tuesday that it was taking shingles, little tiles from my roof, and flinging them everywhere. And knocking over trees and everything else. And you can tell, I mean, when we talk about dry underbrush, I mean, take a look at this. I mean, this stuff is dry. And so you can see one spark goes awry and the whole thing just goes up in flames, right? So to give you some context as to how far things are away, this is Pudding Stone Reservoir. And like I said, this is the valley where I live. And now we're going to head over here. You can see this area here. That there's a little bit of a canyon over there, and then that's where the 605 begins and starts heading that way. So it's a ways from me. We did have a fire last year that started kind of behind this mountain and went up and over and ended up in Wrightwood. The fires now, where they happened, was just beyond this. So you see there's kind of an end of a ridge right there, and then you see there's another ridge. As you go up, that's Mount Wilson, and that's the mountain where the fire is happening. You can actually see up there, that's the observatory. As we go down, okay, so this area here is the Eaton fire. If you can probably see the fire scar, just the difference in color, right? And that's where the fire started, kind of in that area. That's Altadena. That's where most of the destruction happened into these valleys. So what you're seeing there is now rubble. As we head over, like, all of this got burned, because usually the fires do what the fire last year in September did. They go up over the hill and over the mountains where nobody lives, but in this case, it came flying down the valley because of the winds. You ended up with this firestorm. And so you can see a lot of the devastation. Okay, kind of in this area, the Rose Bowl is like right down in that area where the mountain comes down, and then you have the 210 that heads up, and then where you have the mountain coming down to the left, that's where the I-5 goes all the way up to the Central Valley to Bakersfield in that area. So yeah, like I said, you can see a lot of the burnt scar. Now you'll notice there aren't any flames right now. We're not seeing a lot of smoke. It's actually a really, really clear day. That's because, I've been tracking this on a heat map, a hotspot map from satellites, and from what I can tell on there, the flames are out. Now it's like a campfire where the flames are out, but there's still a lot of coal that's hot, right? And so we're crossing our fingers that the wind won't pick up. And it's supposed to pick up last night, 14 to 16 miles an hour, and luckily haven't really felt that didn't happen. Our prayers have been answered. Keep your prayers coming. And then we have that ridge over there, and as you head down in this direction, can't quite see it because it's over the hill, but LA, you can see LA peeking out just a little bit here. There's the city of LA downtown, and that basically, that last ridge as it's coming down, that's where the Pacific Palisades is. And that situation is a little different because here, going back, sorry about that, you know, as long as the winds don't pick up and blow it into the valley, there's nothing in terms of cities and towns really until you hit the high desert. So that's usually, when we have wildfires, it's not a big deal for that reason. Because, I mean, obviously it's a big deal, but you don't have, you know, homes burned down like this. That's what was crazy. It's because the winds, instead of the fire going up, it brought it down into the valley. The Pacific Palisades is a little bit different because that fire, they got the flames contained, but on the east of it, you have the 405. And that's where you get up into like you have like the Getty, the main Getty. It's that, and kind of heads into the San Fernando Valley. And on the north, you have Encino, and on the west you have Malibu, and on the south you have the ocean. So it can't go south because of the ocean. But it can go up over the hill. That isn't as big of a mountain. It's more of a hill in terms of western geography anyway, so it can go up over the hill and down into the community. It's still pretty tall, but that one's more of a danger right now. So anyway, that's a little bit of what's going on. Like I said, the windstorm was pretty big the other night. You can see kind of up on a water tower here, but I'll take you down here and you'll see what I mean. There's already a lot of trees that have fallen over, and it's this underbrush and dead trees that have fallen over that if it's not cleared out, that's when they have issues. They said just, you know, gorgeous, beautiful area, but can be very dangerous. So this here, this tree that's been knocked over, that's new. Happened last Tuesday. And we have a bunch of that going on. Like I said, this is really dry brush. You'll hear it as I walk up. It's just very, very dry. So that got knocked over. Actually, this one may have been down for a while, but you can see it hasn't been removed, right? And so a lot of this is going to go up quick if there was a fire. But then it's done. But it's these trees that get knocked over. This one got knocked over the other day. See, there's still leaves on it and everything. But these are the ones become an issue because then it's like a log on a fire instead. And then in some cases you have this tree, which is living. Right? But then you have some of these that are standing up that don't have, you know, same kind of tree, leaves. These ones don't have any leaves. So I'm not sure if they're fully dead or what's going on there, but that's where we get a lot of that danger. Just want to show you another view, just because I love the view. So this used to be a hot tub area, like a hot springs. It was pretty cool, but it's abandoned a few years back. But yeah, so that's the area we were talking about. And that's looking towards the city. You can see it's just a very hilly area. And if these are kept right, it doesn't become so much of an issue. There's fire roads up there to usually, and I know in the last fire they really widened those up as like fire breaks, but you can see like these roads, when you do that, it creates a bit of a fire break. But anyway, said it's a nice clear day. Doesn't look like there's So much smoke, but keep the prayers coming. We really need them. Appreciate you guys, and live joyfully.